wings. They go fast, right? That's the whole appeal. You can go from Paris to Moscow in just 4 hours, rather than 623 hours if you were to walk like a normie. But what if we were to flip that on its head and go the opposite way? How low of a speed do we have to go to achieve lift? Well, in this video, I'm going to set out to find the answer to that, not for science, but because it's fun. If you Google slow RC plane, then you will see this. Now, what are some features of these designs? Well, they have undercambered wings. Rather than having a wing which has a curved top and flat bottom, they don't have a bottom at all and are just empty. This provides a lot of drag, but also a shed load of lift. This sort of wing was used by Flight Test on the duct tape plane about 2 years ago. Well, what else do these planes have? Dihedral, or
Polyhedral.
if you have 3000 IQ, like Daniel from RC Test Flight. Dihedral is where you bend the wing up slightly to give it self-correcting tendencies, which you can see here, how the wing end is bent up compared to this part. So what this does is that when the plane goes one way on the roll axis, so here's the plane when it's flat, if it rolls on one way, this side is now lower than this side, which means that this side, which is being rolled towards, gets more lift, which essentially means this side is pushing up more than this side, which means that it self-corrects and becomes flat. That stabilizes the aircraft. So this is generally used on trainers, 3-channel airplanes, stuff for beginners basically. But I'm going to use it here because, you guessed it, it makes drag. Now, one more thing that these planes don't talk about is wing design. Now, some have curved wingtips, like this one, but some also have straight perpendicular wings, like this Simple Stick from E-flite. However, all of these planes have only one wing, which means they can go faster than if they had 2 wings. Now, one of the reasons that biplanes were used in the First World War was because engines sucked and couldn't produce enough power to fly a plane, unless it had like stupid big wings, which just made it really bad at maneuvering, really stupid. If you're a plane fighting a war and trying to shoot another plane, you want to turn quickly, not slowly. Duh. So to combat this, engineers split the wing into 2 or even 3 and created the biplane. This meant that planes could fly with weaker engines but would still have good maneuverability. But can you guess what else it did? That's right!
It made them slower.
Final conclusion, we're going to be making a plane with 2 wings, undercambered wings, and wings with dihedral. For the fuselage, I plan on using this FT Storch fuselage because it is one of the slowest planes I have, and that landing gear is amazingly strong. Okay, I just want to pause for a second just to say, Flight Test landing gear always breaks, basically. Or at least any landing gear that uses wires generally breaks. This does not break. I keep smacking it on the ground and it keeps living. It's very cool, good landing gear. Companies, do this, please, because I suck at landing. So yeah, anyways, let's get started.
So what I've got here is the wing of the Simple Soarer, and I'm going to take that and use it as a template for the ribs of my plane.
Alright, so viewers at home, I'm actually going to do a little magic trick now. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to put this cardboard piece on top. Alright, 3, 2, 1, alakazam. Now, if you lift it up, boom! They've multiplied. Isn't that crazy? Mokshan Media channel, alright, subscribe, the only channel where we use actual magic.
this is.
Alright, so the top wing's on. Looks like this. I think it looks cool. The wings are definitely a bit short considering the airframe, but the fact of the matter is that this airframe now has a biplane wing, which will be good because it's going to give us loads of lift. And I managed to step the wings quite well. If you don't know, the top wing of the biplane is meant to be in front of the bottom wing of a biplane. Alright, so we got ailerons on this wing now, on both parts using duct tape. Unfortunately, these ones have creases in them. I don't really think it's going to matter, so that's fine. Over here, bottom wing, bevel, aileron. I'm going to put some glue on it in a minute, just to reinforce that hinge. And we're just going to get straight onto servos.
So I haven't built a biplane before, and I didn't really give enough thought to how I would connect the ailerons. My first idea was to feed the top control rod through the top control horn and then into the bottom control horn. This would work in theory, but in practice it gave me really small control aileron throws, and it also meant that I couldn't really fly for very long because there was too much of a risk of the servo stripping. So my second idea was to connect the top and bottom ailerons with this foam board piece. This didn't work because it basically locked the ailerons in place and meant they couldn't move. So my final idea was to connect the bottom and top ailerons with a wire going through bits of a servo horn. This did work, but I still had pretty small throws.
Okay, so we got it here. It's ready. We've got the ailerons working. We've got our flaps working. Up and down, left and right, all that jazz is all correct. Yep. And down, left and so that's all good. Motor's working. Our landing gear's fine. It's a bit cold, I can't lie, but I don't think that's going to be enough to break the glue or whatever. So I think we're ready. I'm not going to use flaps on the first takeoff just because sketch. And well, let's go. Oh my god. Look at that. She's so slow. Alright, she's definitely tail heavy. And she's got rudder problems. I'm going to try and bring her back over, but it's being really sketchy on me. I'm not sure why, but it keeps trying to turn. I think that rudder's getting blanketed out by the wings, which sucks. But oh my days, it's so slow. So that's definitely achieved what we wanted it to. Oh, there she goes. I'm removing the bottom wing because I think that having two wings might be blanking out the elevator. Oh, sorry, the aileron, the rudder. Jesus Christ. The rudder, and also I think that it's overstressing the servo, which is making the turning not as efficient, not as effective, sorry. So my theory, my hope, is that by removing the bottom wing, we'll be able to fly a bit better, because realistically the Storch is meant to fly with only a top wing, so. Alright, yeah. Oh, wing rock, help me. Oh wow. Oh, the wing rock is crazy. I'm putting down the flaps. I mean, they're flapper on, so I don't know if that's going to do anything, but it's something. Oh, I forgot to adjust the center of gravity actually. That's what I'm going to do now. Right, I'm bringing her around. Stops. Did you see that? It just stopped. Lovely stuff. So we've just moved the motor, just moved the battery forward. Hopefully that'll help with the center of gravity. I have no idea what the problem here is actually, but we're gonna just keep going. We're just gonna keep trying, and yeah, here we go. That's a lot better. Still got some wing rock, but no, that's not bad. Oh, I don't understand why it's got wing rock. Anyone in the comments who actually knows anything about engineering, please tell me if you know why my plane might be doing this.
Wings aren't big enough?
Maybe actually. Oh yeah, I should introduce my cameraman. Weekly History, find his channel in the description. He's been kind enough to video for this. And he's been kind enough to almost die for the video.